When we first arrived in the Czech Republic, we didn't quite know what to expect. But the moment we stepped onto those cobbled streets and saw the fairy tale towns for ourselves, we knew we were in for something special. Tucked right in the heart of Europe, the Czech Republic is a beautiful blend of medieval charm, rolling hills, and incredibly warm people. It may be roughly the size of South Carolina, but it packs in centuries of rich history, picture-perfect villages, and, let's be honest, some of the best beer we've ever tasted. We were constantly surprised by how much there was to see and do, whether we were climbing castle towers, relaxing in spa towns, or exploring tucked-away nature trails. By the end of our vacation, we learned that this country has more castles per square mile than anywhere else in Europe, and we saw a lot. It's home to Charles University in Prague, founded in 1348, the oldest in Central Europe. And yes, it holds the title for the most beer consumed per capita in the world. Cheers to that. Let us take you along as we explore our 10 favorite places to visit in the Czech Republic. Perfect for first-time travelers looking to fall in love with this amazing country. And trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end, because we saved the absolute best for last. Our journey began in Prague, and trust us, it's every bit as magical as people say. We walked across Charles Bridge just after sunrise when the city was still waking up, and it felt like we had the entire place to ourselves. It is a medieval stone arch bridge that crosses the Vltava River. Its construction started in 1357 under the auspices of King Charles IV and finished in the early 15th century. For centuries, Charles Bridge was the only crossing over the Vltava. As we found out, the legend says touching the bronze plaque beneath the statue of St. John of Nepomuk brings luck and guarantees your return to Prague. Naturally, we gave it a try. We explored Prague Castle, wandered through the Old Town Square, and timed our visit perfectly to catch the astronomical clock strike the hour, alongside dozens of excited tourists pointing up at the moving apostles. One of our favorite mornings was spent at Petrin Hill, where we took the funicular to the top and climbed the Petrin Lookout Tower, Prague's mini Eiffel Tower, for panoramic views of the entire city. We also explored the Mirror Maze nearby, which was surprisingly fun, a favorite spot for children and adults alike. No trip to Prague would be complete without seeing the Dancing House, a modern architectural gem that felt totally different from the rest of the city's Gothic and Baroque design. At sunset, we strolled along the Vltava River, with the golden light bouncing off the water and street musicians playing in the background. But one of the most powerful parts of our time in Prague was visiting the Jewish quarter, Josefov. We stepped inside the Old New Synagogue, the oldest active synagogue in Europe, and spent hours at the Jewish Museum and Old Jewish Cemetery. The atmosphere was moving and unforgettable, offering a glimpse into Prague's rich and complex past. As we experienced the firsthand, we would suggest to buy a combo ticket to the Jewish heritage sites in advance and head to Letna Park for a sweeping sunset view of the city. Did you know that Prague is often called the City of 100 Spires? But it actually has over 500. Visiting Český Krumlov felt like stepping into a storybook. We wandered through its narrow cobblestone streets, surrounded by pastel-colored buildings and charming little shops. The highlight for us was climbing up to the Cesky Krumlov Castle, where the views over the red rooftops and the winding Vltava River were just breathtaking. We even caught a traditional marionette performance at the Castle Theatre, such a unique cultural experience. At night, the town glowed under warm lanterns and we found a cozy riverside spot to enjoy local goulash with dumplings. Having explored it ourselves, we recommend to try to stay overnight. Most tourists come just for the day, so the evenings are quiet and magical. Did you know that the castle complex here is the second largest in the Czech Republic? Only Prague Castle is bigger. When we visited Kutná Hora, we weren't prepared for how moving it would be. The Sedlec Ossuary, or Bone Church, is one of the most haunting places we've ever seen, decorated with the bones of over 40,000 people. It was eerie, but also strangely beautiful and respectful. We also explored the majestic St. Barbara's Church, with its flying buttresses and beautiful frescoes. Afterward, we wandered through the quiet streets and had coffee in a little cafe that overlooked the countryside. We suggest to wear comfortable shoes. As observed during our trip, there's a bit of walking between the ossuary and the town center. Did you know that Kutná Hora was once one of the richest cities in Europe thanks to its silver mines? We found this pretty interesting. From there, we move on to Karlovy Vary, where we treated ourselves to a bit of luxury. This spa town is famous for its hot springs, and we couldn't resist trying the traditional spa wafers and sipping warm mineral water from porcelain cups. We even dipped into a thermal bath at one of the historic hotels. What an experience! We also visited the Goethe's Lookout for amazing views of the forested hills and elegant town below. This observation tower is considered an architectural folly and was built in the late 19th century. The building is in the neo-Gothic style, featuring exposed brickwork, and it's 639 meters above sea level. It's a popular destination for guests of the nearby spas. We loved it. Speaking from our experience, we highly recommend to buy a small porcelain cup from a local vendor if you want to try the water. They're a fun souvenir too. Did you know that the town is known internationally for the Karlovy Vary International Film Festival, held every summer? We thought this was worth mentioning. We took a short detour to Hluboka nad Vltavou, and it felt like we'd stepped into a real-life fairy tale. The town itself is small and peaceful, nestled along the Vltava River, but the true star here is the Hluboka Castle. With its white neo-Gothic facade and manicured gardens, it immediately reminded us of something out of a Disney movie. We wandered through its lavishly decorated rooms, admired antique furnishings, and climbed up one of the towers for a sweeping view of the countryside. Strolling the castle grounds in the late afternoon was one of the most peaceful moments of our trip. Birds chirping, sunlight streaming through the trees, and barely another tourist in sight. Our recommendation is to try to visit early in the morning or on a weekday to avoid the crowds. Also check if there are guided tours in your language. They bring the castle's history to life. Did you know that Hluboka Castle was originally built in the 13th century, but its current appearance was inspired by England's Windsor Castle after a 19th century renovation? The next place we visited Olomouc, which was a total surprise for us and one of our favorite stops. This university town has a youthful energy, but it's packed with history. We visited the Holy Trinity Column, which is massive and beautifully detailed. The main square was full of fountains and cozy cafes where we tried the local specialty, Olomouc cheese, a pungent but tasty cheese. We also climbed the tower of St. Wenceslas Cathedral, which gave us panoramic views of the city. If you're into quirky attractions, don't miss the astronomical clock here. It's very different from Prague's. Did you know that Olomouc has more historical fountains than any other city in the country? We thought it was kind of awesome. For nature lovers like us, Bohemian Switzerland was paradise. We hiked through deep green forests, crossed stone bridges, and stood in awe beneath the Pravčica Gate. It's Europe's largest natural sandstone arch. The scenery felt like something out of a fantasy film. And we weren't surprised to learn that parts of the Chronicles of Narnia were filmed here. We also took a peaceful boat ride through the Edmund Gorge. It was so serene and beautiful. As we experienced the firsthand, we can recommend to wear hiking shoes and bring snacks. There aren't many shops once you hit the trails. Did you know that despite the name, Bohemian Switzerland is located entirely in the Czech Republic? We were surprised by this and figured you might be too. Our visit to Trebon was a breath of fresh air, literally. Surrounded by fish ponds and forests, this town is perfect if you want a peaceful escape. We rented bikes and cycled past serene lakes and centuries-old dikes. We also visited the Trebon Chateau and learned about the town's history and fish farming. Later, we tried the local carp dish at a lakeside restaurant. Surprisingly delicious. It's our suggestion that you visit in autumn if you can. The fall colors reflected in the ponds are absolutely magical. Did you know that Trebon is at the center of one of the oldest fish farming regions in Europe? As beer lovers, visiting the next stop on our journey, Pilsen, felt like a pilgrimage. This is where Pilsner beer was born, and we took the full brewery tour at Pilsner Urquell. Drinking fresh, unfiltered beer straight from the barrel in their underground cellars. It was incredible. The town itself has a beautiful square with a massive cathedral and friendly locals. We even stumbled on a small street festival and joined in the dancing. Having explored it ourselves, we can recommend to book your brewery tour in advance. They fill up fast, especially on weekends. Did you know that Pilsner-style beer is now the most popular beer style in the world, and it all started here? We ended our journey in Brno, and it gave us a completely different vibe from Prague. Edgy, creative, and a little less polished in the best way. We explored the underground labyrinth beneath the vegetable market and visited the Cathedral of St. Peter and Paul, which towers over the city skyline. One of the most memorable experiences was taking the eerie tour of the Brno ossuary, the second largest in Europe. But we also found time to chill at hip cafes and enjoy some of the best coffee we had in the country. As we experienced the firsthand, Brno is a great base for day trips to Moravian wine country. Did you know that Brno is home to one of the world's oldest functioning astronomical clocks? But it looks like a giant black bullet. Cool, isn't it? Now let's talk about something that made our trip even more memorable: Czech food. After all that exploring, we definitely worked up an appetite, and Czech cuisine did not disappoint. First up, svíčková na smetane. Marinated beef sirloin in a creamy veggie sauce topped with whipped cream and cranberry, served with soft dumplings. Sounds unusual, but it's incredibly delicious. Next up, vepso, nedlo zelo, roast pork with sauerkraut and dumplings. Hearty, comforting, and perfect after a day of exploring, especially in cozy Český Krumlov. Then there's goulash. Similar to Hungarian goulash but with a Czech twist. It's usually a thick beef stew served with bread dumplings instead of rice or noodles. Great with a cold pilsner. For dessert, ovocné nedlíky, fruit-filled dumplings topped with butter, sugar, and sometimes quark. Sweet, unique, and surprisingly satisfying. From castles and cobblestones to beers and bone churches, the Czech Republic truly has something for everyone. Whether you're into history, nature, or just soaking up small-town charm, this country is full of surprises. We hope this list gives you some inspiration for your own adventure. And if you've been to the Czech Republic, let us know in the comments what your favorite place was. If you enjoyed the journey, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your fellow travelers, and subscribe to our channel for more adventures around the world. Please check the links in the description for recommended travel essentials. Let us know in the comments which place is on your bucket list, or share your own travel tips. Remember, travel is not just about the destinations, but also the memories you create along the way. Thank you for watching, and let's the journey begins.